Mark Tigrotenhuis, I really apologize for what I did to your last name there, asks, I know that you have built several things from Lego in the past. Have you ever tried other brands that have compatible building blocks? I have. I have bought those building blocks that are compatible, and I've played with them, and I can't abide them. I can't even touch them. When my kids were grown and I finally got all of my OG Legos back from my kids, one of the key things I spent dozens of hours doing was removing all the non-canon Legos from the Lego bins. And the reason I can't abide the other Legos is not like a moral reason. It's an aesthetic reason entirely. Yeah, it doesn't feel right. Norm is doing this gesture back there. It's exactly right. Number one, the plastic doesn't feel right. Number two, the clicks don't feel right. Number three, the colors are war crimes. I'm sorry. I should not make light of a phrase like war crimes. Let's not do that. The colors are horror shows. And what that goes to show you is the extreme amount of engineering and aesthetic rigor that has been built into the Lego system. Consider that there are no two Legos that you have ever put together and been like, ugh. Don't get me wrong. There might be some color combos within the Yellow Submarine that, you know, that look like popcorn Jelly Belly's taste. But for the most part, Lego colors work across the whole system, and that is so much a non-trivial thing from a design perspective. I worked for a startup toy company. We had 5 pieces in our building toy. 5 different pieces. They needed to be 5 different colors. We spent months choosing those colors. Months, color charts, org charts, people's ideas, silent ballots, public ballots. And in the end, the 5 colors we chose turned out to be, by accident, they turned out to be the exact 5 colors of M&Ms. And again, this is this kind of thing of like, at M&M, at Mars, when they were first coming up with the colors of M&M, they were choosing 5 colors and they had to all go together. You couldn't end up with like 2 colors in a bowl that looked like ass. That's not cool. So they worked really hard to choose a color palette that was totally cross-compatible. And again, it's one of the things about off-brand toys of all stripes and off-brand products is that the color is often the first thing that lets you know you're in a bad zone. So no, I can't abide the touch, feel, mechanical properties, or look of non-branded Legos, which is a shame. As a side note entirely, we're 3D printing fools over here now, and one of my favorite earliest 3D printing drawings that caught fire around the internets was the Rosetta bricks that people were immediately drawing and printing bricks and connectors that connected Lego to K'NEX, to Duplo, to what is the wooden train? All of those different systems could be connected to each other with these bridging bricks. That to me is like the promise and the magic of 3D printing. Ian Rigby is asking about entry-level 3D printers. Had my interest peaked with 3D printing when it was demonstrated I could get some use out of one. I've been looking at entry-level models and been shocked how cheap some are, less than £100 UK. Do I have any thoughts on bare bones, no frills, noob entry-level printer? Yeah, I love the Carbon A1 Mini. For $350 US, give or take, is that about right? Less than that. We think it's less than that. The A1 Mini is a great little machine, and I actually keep one in my office at home. I've got a few Carbon X1s, but the A1 Mini, I just love what Carbon's doing. I love their machines, and having one at the house means that I can print stuff that matches the stuff that I've got at the cave. And I just like, yeah, like you said, that it adds to your process. That's the feeling I have. Like this is, wait, no, that's not the good one. This is the good one. This is like a substantive object, man. And 15 years ago, that's not what I was seeing coming out of 3D printers. So
Bamboo Lab.
What did I say?
Carbon.
Oh, I keep saying Carbon. I'm sorry. Bamboo Lab.
$200. $200.
$200 for the A1 Mini. Oh my gosh, run and go get that. It's great. It's great. It's great. And for $200, does it come with no. Okay, so for $200, you get it with just one spool. You can also get an AMS for it with that'll do 4 kilos, and you can do color changes. But for an entry-level printer, I don't think you can beat that. I really like Carbon's print management environment of being able to set up multiple plates and divvy your stuff out. I really like my ability in that software, and I know that there are other companies whose software affords the same qualities, the same things. Being able to both locally and globally change the properties of how I'm printing stuff, where I can take one thing and give it support, and have another and not have it have any support. I can print. Lately, my favorite 3D printing move is printing everything at 100% infill. It just everything feels better. It feels like real objects. Bamboo Carbon A1 Mini. Go get yourself $200. Yeah, go get yourself one. Okay, Dormant Sloth has some requests. He recently finished my audiobook, thank you, and enjoyed it. Why say he? Dormant Sloth could be an actual sloth. It was a great accompaniment for me walking my dog and going on long drives. Can you recommend other maker books, audiobooks, or podcasts? I know you said maker books. All my maker content is consumed on YouTube and in books. My maker content is consumed in YouTube and in books. And on YouTube, I've talked extensively about the other channels that I watch. Twoodford, Twoodfrd, Marius Hornberger, Henry Sagerman, ClickSpring. There's a host of wonderful YouTube channels out there. For podcasts, I still think Ali Ward is doing one of the best podcasts out there with Ologies. And Ali has such an amazing manner. She gets scientists and experts to giggle about how much they love their work. It's just no better sound than that. I've lately been completely obsessed with the podcast If Books Could Kill. Michael Hobbs and Peter Shimshuri started this podcast a year and a half ago. And they talk about popular airport fiction like Freakonomics or The Better Angels of Our Nature, and they go through them, tackling them, taking them down, and academically roughing them up. Their main podcast does a book for each. Each podcast is like an hour and a half dive into a book, but they also have a Patreon in which they talk about other subjects like the Columbia protests or, other things. I love that podcast. I love these two dudes. I love the way they interact. I love the way that they educate each other. For each podcast, the structure is that one of them is the sort of leader through the book and the other is following. And so you get the veteran and you get the newbie for each execution of a book of them going through a book. And these are two minds that are expansive and willing to change. That's really, really clear. I've listened to every episode of If Books Could Kill at least twice. And that's only then did I discover that there was a whole rich well of a whole nother batch of episodes on the Patreon. And that was like, I'm so psyched about that. The most recent books I have been reading, Alex Braku says, what are the most recent books you've been reading? I will finish this by telling you about the books I've been reading. My son and his partner gave me 3 books just before I left for Cape Cod in June, called Gideon the Ninth, Harrowhark the Ninth, and Nona the Ninth. These are your very basic 10,000 years in the future lesbian necromancer science fiction fantasy novels. I know that's a handful. They are so much fun to read. Just so much freaking fun to read. And there's a 4th one coming out. I can't wait. I'm super psyched about it. It's lovely characterizations. The 2nd book is in the 2nd person, which means it's all you, which is far out to read. Just delightful. And then, so I burned through all 3 of those books on my summer vacation. And I came back, and for my birthday in July, my son and his partner gave me the Murderbot Diaries. And I just read the first one of those, All Systems Red. And again, it's like I'm just finding this whole new tone to enjoy. My house is stacked with so much nonfiction. In my office, I've got like a whole section on the Wright brothers and Icarus and Daedalus, like five linear feet of books stacked up in the corner. And I've got all sorts of political stuff, and I have all these ambitions to read. And it's very difficult to get past this dumb thing. And it turns out that apparently what my mind needed was a lot of good fantasy science fiction. So Murderbot Diaries and the Harrowhark Gideon the Ninth. Yeah, just really, really fun tone, accessible tone, and yet great plotting, great character. All right.
Thank you for watching that video. Are you as sick of the tosses to membership as I am? Good, because here's a brand new one that I recorded today, and it's nice and short. There are 3 tiers to Tested membership, and they all offer awesome stuff. Find out about it by clicking the join link below. We'll see you there.